Chicago White Sox baseball on Comcast Sportsnet, part of the NBC Sports Group.
After a 3-game sweep by our Sox a month ago at Wrigley, Cub fans invaded the South Side in round 2 and have seen their team take the first 2 games right here at USA Field. Can the Sox avoid the same fate their crosstown rivals suffered in round 1? Find out next, right here on Comcast Sportsnet. We are coming to you from the city beautiful Chicago, Illinois, where tonight Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox baseball. It's Paul Konerko, Adam Dunn, A.J. Pierzynski and the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Rafael Soriano and the crosstown rival Chicago Cubs. Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Ken Harrelson with Steve Stone as we get set to bring you the finale of this 3-game set. As you know, they've taken the first 2. They wanted to open to 12-3. They hit 5 home runs. Then last night, Jake Peavy, I'll tell you, if he didn't have, he wouldn't have any luck at all. He lost it 2-1. Only gave up 1 earned run. In fact, in his last 2 starts, he got beat 1-0. That was by Lance Lynn in St. Louis. And then last night, 2-1. So the Sox come in. They're trying to get the 3rd game here. And Gavin Floyd.
Gavin Floyd has been struggling, no doubt about that. In fact, since May 1st, his ERA is up close to 7. Overall, he's 4-7 this year. And against the Cubs, he's 0-3 lifetime. But his ERA is a little over 3.5. He's got to turn it around tonight. It's a night when the ball's going to jump out to left field. Hopefully he gets a curveball over early and spots the fastball. If he does, he can be the Gavin Floyd that we remember from a couple of years ago. If he doesn't, it's going to be a tough night for him. Randy Wells goes to the mound, and this is a former catcher who getting a start tonight because Ryan Dempster's on the disabled list. And Wells is 1-1, his ERA 4.50. He's not overpowering. He's a sinker baller. He's got a slider to go with it. And if he starts nipping at the corners, he's going to have some problems. So we can only salvage 1 of the 3. Let's go get it.
All right, sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
White Sox baseball on Comcast Sportsnet. Part by
a very warm and very windy night once again. Time now for the Miller Time Cubs starting lineup. Let's see how Dale Swaim is going to line them up tonight. David DeJesus playing center field and leading off, and it's Starlin Castro, their best hitter, hitting second, and Laher, Soriano, Clevenger, Barney, Valbuena, Johnson, and Campana in left, hitting ninth. The defense and how they'll line up behind Gavin Floyd, Viciedo, Diaza, and Rios. Left to right with Escobar, Ramirez, Beckham, and Canerco. A.J. Brzezinski gets a nod behind the plate. And our largest pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Gavin Floyd, on for his 14th start. The record 4-7, the ERA a little higher than he would like. Right-handers haven't done much with him, but left-handers have really hurt him. So let's see if he can establish that breaking ball early. The umpires for the game tonight: Bill Miller behind the plate, Dale Scott, the crew chief, is at first, Dan Iasonia is at second, and C.B. Buckner is at third. Moments ago, Lisa Marie Presley threw out the first pitch. She's appearing at a musical venue in Chicago tonight, and she will sing better than she will throw. Chris Sale gets the one hopper, gets the picture, and it's time to win one from the Cubs and wind up the season series against them 4-2. So we're ready to play baseball. And I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
Hi, Stevie. Thank you. And once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here on Comcast Sportsnet. So happy you could join us for the finale of this three-game set and the finale of the six-game interleague series against our crosstown rival Chicago Cubs. David DeJesus had the big hit last night, a 2 RBI single, as the Cubs won that ball game 2-1. He comes in hitting at .261 with a couple of homers and 21 driven in. So our 29-year-old right-hander Gavin Floyd, and the first pitch of the ball game. That's taken outside. Cubs come in hitting at .247 as a team with a 4.27 ERA. Cubs are 10-25 on the road. There's the strike. 1-1 to count in here at the ballpark. 330 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line, 375 in the gaps, and 400 straightaway center.
DeJesus started off a center fielder with Kansas City and feels very comfortable after being signed as a right fielder with the Cubs.
Chops that one foul. One and two the count for the 32-year-old veteran outfielder. Sox lead the all-time series 48-41. Pretty good pitch, didn't get it. He wanted it, and AJ wanted it.
BMO Harris Bank pitch tracks. That one might have gone either way. It went to DeJesus's way.
Watch out. Hang loose.
In this series, DeJesus did set a major league record. He was hit twice in the same inning, the 7th inning of the opening game.
I'd never seen that.
Nope, I have never either.
That's into left field. Tank now giving ground right in front of the Comcast sign. Hauls it in. That ball just jumped out there. That wind, hang loose.
Watching him take batting practice today, anything up in the wind to left field's got a chance of going out of the ballpark. Fortunately, DeJesus took it the opposite way. It's a fastball, had the entire plate. And Viciedo turning some circles, but eventually making the play.
And our good luck charm, Bertucci boys are here. Bobby, Bruno, Anthony, and don't forget about Giggs. So here is Castro. Takes first pitch strike. Castro at 302, 6 homers, 38 knocked in. 4 for 9 in this series with a homer and 2 RBIs. Johnny Damon has hit a 2-run homer in the bottom of the 4th inning. Indians lead Cincinnati 2-0.
I like what Gavin just did. He went inside with a fastball, pushing Castro off the plate. He's got such good plate coverage away, but you have to go inside on occasion just to remind him.
That's into right field. We got a man there. 2 down. Well, that's been one of Gavin's problems. Gavin has trouble, especially with right-handers pitching inside. You gotta pitch in, and not for strikes, Steve, as you talk about so often. In today's game, you're not going to get a lot of strikes called on the inside, but you still have to go in there. But you don't try to throw a strike; you're going off the plate.
Well, he went in about 5 inches off the plate. He moved Castro's feet, and he got the fly ball to right field.
Here's LaHare. Well, one of the worst things you can do to certain right-hand hitters is try to get a strike on the inside corner.
Yeah, that's not a good thing.
That's not a good idea. That's a bad concept.
Especially with the wind blowing to left tonight.
Do I know the count?
LaHare
2 for 8 in the series with a homer.
He's got good power to the opposite field, especially left center. Blowing across toward left.
There's a strike. Soriano on deck.
You can see why LaHare plays against the right-handers and sits on the bench a lot against the lefties.
And that one at 93. Last few times out, he's been right around 90, 91.
Good sign he's got a little something extra on the fastball tonight.
St. Louis and Detroit tied at 1, bottom of the 5th at Comerica Park. Takes it up, fouls it off. So a full count. And the payoff pitch. Just got a piece of that one.
That one at 95. That's the best fastball that Gavin has thrown in
all year.
6 or 7 starts that I can recall.
And it's now 5-0 Cleveland as Drupal Cabrera just hit a 3-run homer. And the payoff.
Before this season, the Sox in interleague play were spectacular. 12-6, 12-6, 15-3 and 10, 11-7 last year, but this year 6-8. Most unusual, as the Sox have dominated interleague play for some time. They'll be careful on the first pitch to Soriano. He loves it.
Can't get it. Soriano 2 for 8 with a homer. He had a 440-foot homer dead away center.
Good idea, throwing him a slider. He's swinging at it, but wasn't close.
There's a Matabatacola up the middle. Can he get it with that arm? Nope. Good try by Beckham. He was well on the third base side of second.
The bat shattered. You see Gordon playing up the middle, and Alexi playing him as a dead pull hitter. Gordon gets to it, but can't get it there in time, as even with the bad knees, Soriano able to beat the play at first.
So 2 on 2 out, and here is the catcher, Steve Clevenger. 1-0 the count. A 2-out threat here in the top of the first inning if you're just tuning in. Tops that foul to even the count. Other action around the major league show Minnesota at Pittsburgh. Houston hosting. Well, that's the final. Kansas City beat Houston 2-1. And at the Juice Box, Texas at San Diego. Colorado at Philadelphia. Washington hosting Tampa Bay. Baltimore at City Park in New York against the Mets. Fenway, it is Red Sox, the Carmines hosting the Marlins. There's a good curveball strike. And in 3 other finals, D-backs beat Seattle 14-10 in Phoenix. Milwaukee 8, Toronto 3 at Miller Park. Atlanta doubled up the Yankees 10-5 in the Bronx. He gone. Pitches out of it after a half inning of play. It's their guys nothing and our guys coming to bat.
Sox starting lineup. This is how Robin's going to line them up with Diaza leading off and Gordon Beckham, Adam Dunn, Paul Konerko in the cleanup spot, Alex Rios, AJ Pierzynski, Diane Viciedo, Alexi Ramirez, and Eduardo Escobar getting to start at third. The defense, and now they'll line up behind Randy Wells, Campana, DeJesus, and Johnson left to right, Valbuena, Castro, Barney, and LaHare in the infield, Steve Clevenger behind the plate, and our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Randy Wells. This is his third start, his 11th game. He was brought back from the minor leagues to work out of the bullpen. But when Ryan Dempster went on the disabled list, Randy Wells was inserted in his spot. He is a sinker baller, a converted catcher, and occasionally starts to nip at the corners too much and then gets himself in trouble.
And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours, as here's Diaza hitting at .295, 4 homers and 28 driven in. Takes first pitch strike. Alejandro 1 for 8 in the series. Sox come in hitting at .254 with a 4.06 team ERA.
We've seen Wells a few times. He's 1-2 lifetime with an ERA of 6.38 against our ball club.
Two and 1 the count. Andy, 29 years old, 6'5", 230 pounds, out of Belleville, Illinois. And the count 3-1.
That's what he's done career-wise. 3 under.
And there's the strike. And And the payoff pitch. Watch out. Hit his glove, slows it up right over to Castro, and he will throw him out.
Break for Wells and the Cubs, and a bad break for Diaza. That ball was headed into center field. So 1-6-3. This will rocket back up the middle. Wells is very fortunate to deflect it right at Castro.
So here's Beckham hitting at .234, 8 homers and 27 driven in. One and one to count. Gordon has faced Wells 8 times, has 3 hits. One hopper. Valbuena. And right now, let's check out our Farmers Insurance picks to click this evening. Jim Angio, our director and crew. They went with Rios. Steve's going with the Tank. Diane Viciato and Alyssa and Peter Jr. Catazone and I, my buddies. We're going to go with A.J. Pierzynski. So here is Adam. Adam at .225, but 23 homers and 52 knocked in. Got the shift on, big shift. That's about as much as we've seen a shortstop play out in the outfield grass. Checks it up, and the count's 3-0.
Adam's going to get the 3-0 green light, and knowing that Wells doesn't have a big fastball, I would think he'd be awfully careful here, or he'll find himself down 1-0.
Not even close. Adam was 2 for 4. All for Andy Wells with a homer. So that'll bring up Paulie, who's 2 for 8 lifetime all for Andy Wells. Paulie hitting at .357, 13 homers and 40. Check that, 38. Driven in. Breaking ball, couldn't get it.
Wells had a slider and a pretty decent one. Not a big breaking slider, and he doesn't have an overhand curveball.
And that's over to Castro up with it. Over to Barney, who bobbles it but hangs on, makes the force, and that'll retire the side. After 1, there is no score.
by Miller Lite.
And if you want a fantastic White Sox experience, well, check out the Comcast Fundamentals deck here at beautiful U.S. Cellular Field. You can interact with White Sox trainers, run the bases at the wiffle ball diamond, and test your swing at the batting cages. You're always at the center of the action with Xfinity, only from Comcast.
Well, Hawk, last night for Tampa Bay, Joel Peralta was caught with pine tar in his glove.
Shame on him.
And he'll be suspended. But he pitched for Washington last year, and it was Washington that kind of turned him in.
Boy, that's nasty there.
Well,
that's cold.
Joe Madden said that he felt that it was unfair.
Joe.
Can you believe that? I'll tell you why he should be suspended. Because when you pitch with a team you're pitching against, and they know you have it in your glove, put it on your uniform, because they know you keep it in your glove.
That is not a smart move.
No, it's going to cost him a few games.
That is flared down the right field.
Yeah, Joe said it was just not fair, that they were taking unfair advantage because he pitched with them last year. They knew that he had it in his glove, so apparently he wanted them to look the other way while he cheated against them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Oh, look at the play by Escobar. Yes, beautiful play by Eduardo. Showtime.
This looks like it's going to be two bases with Escobar well off the line, but he's got a strong arm, and he gets it over there a step ahead of Darwin Barney. Good layout dive, and just enough time to get up and make the play.
So here's Valbuena. Out of play. Well, you know, this, as long as this game has been going on, you had guys who wet it up, greased it up, pine tarred it up,
Tried to take advantage,
corked the bats.
right?
I mean, that's the way it's always been, and that's the way it always will be. That's just the way the game has been played. That's the way the game is played in football. That's the way the game is played in basketball. Any advantage that you can get.
But the one thing, golf is supposedly a gentleman's game. Baseball has never been termed a gentleman's game.
Well, baseball is not a gentleman's game.
No,
It's
you don't call penalties on yourself. That's for sure.
Well, I want to tell you something. When I retired from baseball, went into golf, went over and played the European Tour. Some of those European over there have a magic right thumb. If there's a ball marking, poof, it's gone. It's gone. That's high and wide. So we didn't, in our time zone, we didn't even care if guys threw spitters, because you could hang a spitter just like you could hang a curveball. Umpires knew it. They didn't call it. They didn't care. As Paulie will take it himself. And that is out number 2. And if you had a cork bat, which about probably I would say at least 70 to 80% of the guys did, and the umpire checked it, he would ask you, is this bat corked? And I would say no. He said, okay, do me a favor, don't use it anymore this game.
That's right.
And that was it. Today they x-ray him, and now if you get caught, you're suspended for 2 weeks.
Yeah, but
fine.
Usually they hand them a different bat to x-ray, or they might just change it. You never know.
Well, back in those days, they didn't have x-ray machines.
No.
That's the Wayback Machine there. There's a strike. Lee Johnson hitting 292, a couple of homers. He's driven in 11. Yes, he did.
Dale Scott.
And the count 0-2.
Got appeal too, said indeed. He went too far, and he did go well too far.
Well, all three Hall of Fames have all got guys, a bunch of guys that always look for the edge and took it.
That's part of the deal in this game, and it started when the game was invented, and it's the same way now.
Watch out.
A lot of people believe that Reed Johnson is going to be one of those guys that's sought after by a contending team. He can play all three outfield positions. He gives you a very solid bat. He's a great man to have on a club. And if you are a team that's going to contend, he would be a handy man to have around.
You better believe it. He is, against us, he has been just a pain in the derriere.
There's a perfect example.
So good speed aboard. He has been a good offensive player against us, and he has thrown some leather.
BMO Harris Bank pitch tracks, and he gets a low one. This is on the inner portion, and an inside out swing turns into a base hit to right field.
So now that beautiful, brilliant play by Escobar comes up as a run saver so far.
Still have to watch the bunt every time Tony Campana comes up.
He is 3 for 7 in this series. .24 for 27 in stolen bases.
Did, however, in a key situation last night, get picked off first base to get Jake out of the 8th inning.
Well, we got two of the better right-handed moves in all of baseball over the first, and Jesse Crane and Jake. Oh, Jake. Well, what a competitor.
What a job he did. The 9th inning was a classic example of the competitiveness of Jake Peavy. Gives off a leadoff triple to DeJesus. He's facing Castro. He's facing Johnson, Soriano, Clevenger. Pitches his way out of it with a called third to Clevenger. And exactly where DeJesus started at third base was exactly where he ended.
We were talking about that before the game today. When he did that and he walked in that dugout, I said to myself, we're going to win this ball game right now.
I thought it was a huge momentum changer, but we swung at a lot of bad pitches from Carlos Marmol.
1-2 to Campana. And come see our Sox take on the Rangers on Wednesday, July 4th. All fans are invited to stay for a post-game fireworks show presented by First Merit Bank. So purchase tickets by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME. First Merit Bank, this is your year. How can we help? Ate him up. Nice play, nice pitch, nice out. So Escobar saves us a run with that beautiful play, and after an inning and a half, no score. tickets. The Illinois Lottery, where anything is possible. You cannot win unless you play. The Illinois Lottery. Boy, I'll tell you what.
What a deal, huh?
Did you buy your ticket yet?
Oh, are you kidding? I bought tens of dollars of tickets.
That's a stretch.
I'm waiting for the prize to be well up there.
Castro throws out Alex, who is now 0 for 7 in this series. That last jackpot, I had probably 250, 300 bucks invested in that thing. Well, you know, I'm a field filler. You got to have field fillers. You got to have somebody to build a pot.
I went after the big one. I went after the big one. I will tell you that. I think I got $3 into that.
You did?
Yeah. We had 40 or 50 people in a pool.
Here's AJ. AJ hitting at 285, 12 homers, 41. I've been playing that thing since they first started. Just knew I was going to win it, but no.
Well, you get a big advantage. You get 2 Powerballs a week, 2 Mega Millions a week, and all the scratch-offs you can handle.
Yeah. That's low. 1-1. Harris, my Greek wife, really gets upset with me.
Won't be that upset if you win something.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Change up. 2-1. And there's a strike. Evens count at 2.
That was a changeup, and AJ hasn't seen a whole lot of Wells, so got to familiarize yourself with the stuff unless he makes a mistake the first time through the order.
But what he has seen, he's done pretty well. Had 6 at bats against him, 5 hits.
That's pretty good.
3 RBIs.
It's even better.
That's the reason Alyssa and Peter Jr. Canizone took him. Fouls that over into the Cub dugout.
So I would assume then if he went 3 for 4, it would take his average down, and that wouldn't be good enough.
All right. Well, you know, Scott Sanderson. You know what his nickname was? The Senator.
The Senator. He looked like a senator.
So here's Viciedo. Tank hitting at 261, 12 homers. He's knocked in 30. First time that Tank has seen Randy Wells. Takes it right there.
He's going to like Randy Wells if he stays away from him, and here comes the slider.
Just over the head. Barney. Running back. They're not going to get him at first, but they get AJ.
A good piece of base running by AJ because he waited long enough so that Viciedo could beat the play. You just thought, don't run into a quick tag. This one right over Wells' head. Barney right there, and AJ, he's going to put the brakes on. He's going to make Barney come to him. And by that time, you can't complete the double play.
Don't let the second baseman tag you. And that's what AJ was able to do and not allow his teammate to reach first. Boy won the count to Alexei, who's 1 for 4. Can't get that one. Alexei at 230 a homer. He's driven in 30. Outfield spread out, straight up, about equidistant. One and two the count. Sox will have an off day tomorrow, then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The Brew Crew in town. Bites that one off, fouls it off. And a reminder, voting is open for the 2012 All-Star Game in Kansas City. So help send your favorite White Sox players to this year's All-Star Game by voting up to 25 times at whitesox.com. Visit whitesox.com and cast your ballot now for your 2012 All-Stars. Vote early and vote often. Vote today at whitesox.com. Ball hit into center field. Stretch. DeJesus back in front of the track, hauls it in. And that'll retire the side. We'll go to the third. Still no score.
Is going on the road and will be at the Alpine Valley Music Theater on June 30th and July 1st. Tickets are on sale now at livenation.com. All Ticketmaster outlets are charged by phone at 800-745-3000. So all of you Fish fans, get your tickets early.
DeJesus, Castro, LaHare. Top of the order for the Cubs here in the top of the third. 0-2-0 for them. No runs, no hits, no errors for us. First pitch strike.
DeJesus becomes a big out in the inning, not only because Gavin has had some problems with left-handers, tonight an exception, but because with Castro up next, he's swinging a hot bat.
Pretty good pitch, didn't get it. Well, Castro swings a hot bat most of the time.
Yeah, he's very good and getting better. Only 22 years old.
Well, he's one of the most talented 22-year-olds you ever want to see. And there's a strike. 1-2.
How about that play he made last night, that juggling play into short left field?
Whatever you tell me about him, I believe.
that was a good one.
Some kind of talent. There's a rocket. One hops. So the leadoff double. That's his 14th two-bagger.
DeJesus swinging the bat well. That's why this was such a big at bat. He got a fastball up and out over the plate, and he crushed it to right field.
Castro lined out hard to Rios. That's not going to get the job done, but can he get him with that? Yes, he can with that gun. And here's that catch that Steve was just referring to last evening.
Looked like a base hit when it left the bat. Not only the glove, but then the bare hand. In the meantime, that last at bat for Castro was not a particularly good one. First pitch swinging and hit the ball to the left side. That's an at bat of youth.
LaHair walked. Pretty good pitch, didn't get it.
Demo Harris Bank pitch tracks, and that one had the bottom part of the zone. Didn't look like when AJ caught it, but it's where it crossed the plate.
And it counts 3-0 with Soriano on deck. There's a strike. 3-1. Oh, knocks it down. Nice play. 2 down. Ball was hit hard.
This ball ticketed for up the middle. It is on the glove hand side. Gavin goes down. Takes his time, knowing LaHair doesn't have much speed. So now AJ has got to be careful, because if he calls a curveball, which he should call, curvers or sliders to Soriano, Gavin has 4 wild pitches this year.
Young fella just proposed, and she accepted down behind our dugout. One and one with 2 down here in the top of the third. 0-3-0 for their guys. No runs, no hits, no errors for us. Escobar's got him, guns him out, and Gavin pitches over. The leadoff double by DeJesus. Bottom of the third. It'll be Escobar to lead it off.
Who was the last Cub pitcher to win 20 games in a season? You think about that, and we'll show you a newly engaged couple. And there they are. He pops the question. She looks at the ring, says it's too small, and no, she's not interested.
Not in size, in carats.
That's it. But apparently she said yes because everybody's happy.
Escobar takes ball 2 at Eduardo. He's a fiery little guy. Orlando Cabrera and him. There's a strike. Chops it foul, so the count 2-2. Big gap out there in right center is De Jesus on the count, moving over towards left. St. Louis now leading the Tigers 2-1. That game in the bottom of the 7th at Comerica. Jake Westbrook on the bump for the Cardinals. And the dreaded leadoff walk.
That's the 3rd walk. And so far, Wells has gotten away with all of them, but he's going to be hard pressed to get away with this one.
Well, when I was looking at his numbers, you looked at 22 innings, you looked at 11 strikeouts, and 16 walks.
Yes, that's been the big problem, and that's one of the reasons why he lost his starting spot to begin with.
Eduardo 1 for 1 in stolen bases. Got a decent lead. Clevenger looking over into the dugout. There's the bunt. Foul ball.
Clevenger jumped on it in a hurry, but the ball really never had a chance to go fair. He was bunting for a base hit. Ball clearly foul. Called by Bill Miller. Last 27 games, Alejandro has been playing the leadoff man to perfection. 32 combined runs scored and runs driven in.
A little bigger lead by about a half a step. Good eye, and the count 1-1. There he goes. Swing and a miss. And he's safe. 2 for 2 in stolen base.
And good throw by Clevenger. But Eduardo just had too big a jump. Wells a touch slow to home plate. Because normally that kind of catch it and throw it cuts down a base runner.
Well, the pitch before, he had just increased his lead by about a half a step. And that's low and inside. So 2-2. Beckham on deck.
With 2 strikes, really, all bets are off, but you'd love to see Alejandro get around and hook this one to the right side.
Or take ball 4. That's in the back of his mind. But as you mentioned, you prefaced it, 2 strikes. It's contact. And there it is. Ball 4. Back-to-back walks.
Now, Gordon Beckham does have a couple of sacrifices this year, and it depends how Robin wants to play it.
Sacrifice. Hopefully his 3rd.
I would hope so. Just bunted at Valbuena. Doesn't matter how they're defending it, because you get good speed on the base paths.
Well, #1 job or thought process and offense is putting pressure on that pitcher. Takes a bunt, takes a strike.
That particular part of the wheel play, Valbuena was going back to 3rd, but Wells was not breaking towards the 3rd base line.
That'll get the job done. Sacrifice 5-4.
Good bunt by Gordon. Now a chance for the big man if they pitch to him.
Adam walked his first trip.
Let's make these 2 leadoff walks really hurt Randy Wells.
There's a shot, and it's going to fall for a base hit. So Escobar will score. Diaz moves into second, and the Sox take a quick 1-0 lead. RBI number 53 for Biggin.
As long as Adam is occasionally willing to take that ball away and hit it in the left field, the sky's the limit as far as runs batted in. Good base running by Escobar, who figured even if Campana catches it, he's got time to tag up. Campana has no arm at all. He was going to run on him and score anyway.
Escobar is a smart player. So here's Polly hit into a 6-4 fielder's choice. Runners at the corners and 1 out. That's flared into right field. Johnson a long way to go. He can't get there. So here comes Diaz indeed. As Steve mentioned, the 2 leadoff walks have burned. 2-0.
RBI number 39 for Paulie. It helps when you have power because the outfielders have to play you pretty deep. That's a hanging slider, and he just dumped it in front of Johnson.
Well, the same thing what you just said is so true because it's a rich get richer, poor get poor syndrome.
Yeah,
For a normal left-handed hitter, that ball will be caught by Campana with his speed. But for Dunn, he was back.
Absolutely. Same thing with Paulie.
Same thing with Paulie to right field. And Reed Johnson. Don't stop now, boys, as here is Alex. He grounded out to short. Takes it right there. That ball hit high and deep into center field, but he's got the bead. Now Adam will tag. And he's not going anywhere as DeJesus gets it back in. A good thing he did not try to come.
Well, unfortunately, hitting it to that part of the outfield, the wind had a chance to bat it down. If he pulls that ball from left center over to left, it's going out of the park. I think Alex realizes he hit that ball awfully hard and it didn't go near as far as he thought it was going to go.
Alex, one of the most mild-mannered guys. I like to see him when he gets a little edge like that. So here is AJ. He walked last inning. Boy, he just got eaten up right there. Not about a cola, but the two leadoff walks come around to score. We'll go to the fourth, leading 2-0. Two 2-0 Sox lead here in the top of the fourth inning. A couple of walks. Randy Wells jumped up and bit him right in the behind. First pitch strike to Steve Clevenger, the catcher. Played first base in the first two games. Clevenger's called out on a curveball in the first inning.
Gavin would like to make this a low pitched inning. He has yet to have a 1-2-3 frame heading into the fourth.
Got that back door called. So 1-2. There's a chopper to Hopper. 1-out.
Last time Barney was up, produced our Home Depot doing more on defense. He takes it down the line But Eduardo right there to nip him by a step at first. That saved at least one run.
He's a player. Barney. And this guy's a player. One out, 1-1 to count.
You got to stay with everything down the right field line. We saw last night a ball that was seemingly in the seats blow back into fair territory, and the wind very similar tonight.
Count hangs at 1-2. And Sox fans, Sunday is 70s Day here at US Cellular Field. First 10,000 children 13 and under in the ballpark on the 24th will receive a kid's 1972 replica jersey courtesy of all the great folks at Pepsi. And that is a wonderful, beautiful jersey. Breaking ball pops him up. Alexei. 2 down. So with 2 out, Valbuena. Valbuena will be the hitter. He grounded out to Paul. Takes a breaking ball strike. Cleveland leading Cincinnati 8-0, bottom of the 7th.
Dusty's going to be real happy to get out of Cleveland, as he's about to get swept.
Maniacs has got that club believing they can win.
Well, with Cabrera back hitting home runs just about every day, they can win.
Boy, that one last night and then the one today. 3-run shot made it 5-0 today. A game winner last night.
And Masterson going to the mound against Cincinnati. Cincinnati, the first place team in the National League Central by 2.5 over Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh in a 1-1 tie with Minnesota at Pittsburgh.
Top of the 8th in Detroit, still 2-1 Cardinals. Two and 2 to Luis Valbuena. 3 for 9 in this series with a homer.
He's been
and
hitting
3 RBIs.
He's been hitting fastballs in this series very well, even on some of the outs.
He hits everything against us. Everything.
Cubs picked him up on waivers. Turned out to be a good claim.
Full count. Reed Johnson on deck. Watch out. Hang loose. That ball's hit softly in the center field. And a nice 1-2-3 inning for Gavin. So his club gives him a lead. He gets him in order. We're at the bottom of the fourth, leading 2-0.
Games in the season, and the answer, John Lieber won 20 games in 2001. Well, Lieber was a pretty good pitcher until he hurt himself, and then never quite could come back and resurrect what he once had.
Tank with an 0-1 count. He grounded out. The second, and the count 0-2. St. Louis now leading Detroit 3-1. Bottom of the eighth.
That was a very bad 0-2 pitch, and Wells is fortunate to get away with it. Nissan pitch tracks. You throw a fastball right down the middle, knee high, at 0-2, usually it burns you.
Well,
Clevenger out there probably to say, don't throw that one again.
If he's got to, Randy's in trouble.
Asensio throwing in the bullpen. We saw him earlier in the year. Cubs picked him up on waivers.
High pop up right side. Get out of here. It won't. LaHare, and one out. So here's Alexi. He went out to center field. Got a breaking ball and hit it fairly deep. Two 2-0 for us. 0-3-0 for them. As there's a breaking ball strike to even the count. Almost got him.
We saw Jairo Asensio when he's with the Cleveland Indians. Cubs claimed him off waivers on June 1st.
Inside again. And it's 3-1. Took a little something off that slider. So a full count to Alexei. Escobar on deck. There's a shot. Get down. It will. But for a moment there was going to hang up for De Jesus.
Sinking line drive on a fastball right down the middle again. And De Jesus has to pull up.
Escobar started off that 2-run second with the walk, picked up a stolen base.
Ramirez 9 out of 11 in stolen bases. Pretty good time to either straight steal or use the hit and run with Escobar up.
Takes ball 1.
Joe McEwen goes through his set of signs.
That's high for 2-0. Robin going through his for Joe, who's going to be a future manager, as is Mark Parent.
Well, Joe interviewed for the job in St. Louis. Ask him about the experience and how he prepared for it. And I know you've talked to a lot of guys who have interviewed for jobs. He said he had dinner with Buddy Bell, and he was shocked that everything that Buddy told him came up in the interview.
High pop up. And Palin fighting that wind a little bit, and that's out number 2.
What do you want from a manager? Let's say you're interviewing a manager. What would you want from a prospective managerial candidate?
Well, X's and O's are the last thing I'm looking for. That's it. I want a manager who knows something about pitching, which Robin does.
Yes.
Which Mike Matheny does.
No doubt. No doubt.
And I want a manager who's good from the last pitch of the game to the first pitch of the next game.
So handling personalities.
No question. You got to be able to handle the press, and you got to be able to handle the players. And a lot of times, that's why Joe Torre, to me, was one of the best managers we've seen in the last half century, because managing in New York is without question the toughest spot in baseball, maybe in sports.
He also had to manage George Steinbrenner, which a lot of people didn't do real well.
Well, actually, nobody could manage George. I take that back. There was one guy who could manage George.
Really?
No.
He didn't manage him that well?
No. Anyway, he's the only guy that George would listen to.
Okay.
Let's put it that way. But back through the middle, off the glove, and nobody's going to be out. Everybody is safe. On the base hit by Alejandro.
Got by Wells and then picked up spin, and even though Castro was playing up the middle, he couldn't do anything with it. By the time he went to flip it to Barney, Barney knew there was no chance at second base.
So here's Beckham, 0 for 1 with a beautiful sacrifice bunt last inning. After the 2 leadoff walks, that set everything up, kept the pressure on Randy Wells. But yeah, the managers today have the tough. This had never been tougher to manage than it is today, because dollars have changed the game around a lot. Agents have changed the game around a lot, as Gordon can't get it.
I always thought what's really difficult, and one of the carrots that you and I had when we first started, was a financial carrot. we wanted to be able to get to the point where, if not financially independent, we wanted to make ourselves comfortable. But now, one contract, and these guys are comfortable for the rest of their lives, and you've got to motivate players who have no insecurity at all about the financial aspect of the rest of their lives.
Well, the culture of our nation is different. The culture of every game is different. When I first came in the 50s, okay, the 3 criteria was, first of all, win. Yeah. Next of all, have some fun, because if you have fun, you get a better chance to win. As that's poked out, look at this, no, full, it will. So here comes Alexei Yazin at third, and it's at 3-0 Sox lead on the duck snort by Gordon. He'll take it. He was due for one of those. He hadn't had one in a while.
That'll be a number 28. 3 singles this inning have yielded 1 run so far. Barney with a good effort, but he comes up just a tad short. And here comes Dale Swaim, and that most likely will be the last pitch for Randy Wells. He points to the bullpen. So a very humid, very warm evening will come to an end. And as Wells walks out, we'll step out and be back after these messages.
Earnhardt Jr. Get your sports day started with the Dan Patrick Show. Weekday mornings from 8 to 11 on Comcast Sportsnet. Number 88 tomorrow.
It's our Honda call to the pen. And it's Hiro Asensio. You might remember him with the Indians. Had a good overhand curveball. Those are 6 games with the Cub numbers. 5 walks and 6 2/3, so control, just like in Cleveland, was a big factor.
Got him with that RBI single and a walk. 3-5-0 for our guys, 0-3-0 for their guys here in the bottom of the 4th. Fouls that away. I just got a text from a good friend of mine asking who was it that could handle Steinbrenner. And I will tell you who it was. The only guy that George would listen to was Jerry Reinsdorf.
How about that?
Jerry was the only guy that could keep him in check. The 0-2.
Active leaders in home runs versus the Cubs. Albert Pujols, who won't hit too many more with the Angels, and Adam Dunn will get his opportunity to add to those 43.
Fair ball. Right to the bag, but we pick up one. We'll go to the 5th leading 3-0. Going to Brewers, first 20,000 fans receive a White Sox magnetic photo frame presented by U.S. Cellular. So stick around after the game for post-game fireworks as well. Purchase your tickets by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME.
Brewers bringing Ryan Braun to town, and that man can hit.
He's something.
What a player.
Reed Johnson takes the curveball strike. He's 1 for 1, a single into right field. 3-1, 5 hits, no errors for our guys. No runs, 3 hits, no errors for their guys.
And just as important, only 1 walk from Gavin, that coming in the 1st inning to Brian LaHare.
And the count 0-2. And if you're just tuning in, the big play so far was that beautiful play by Escobar, robbing Darwin Barney of extra bases leading off the 2nd inning.
Well, that's going to be 2 base hits. He's going to score on Johnson's single. Then who knows what happens from there.
And if you miss that play,
just a great play, and it's leading off the inning. So
that's what makes it a great play.
Yeah, if he's on second base, you never know what happens.
Chopper to Hopper. 1 out.
Campana didn't bunt the first time. Normally you can take it to the bank the second time.
You know, an interesting take on what you were talking earlier about interviews, managers, potential managers, prospective managers. I've heard some tales that you just couldn't believe about some guys who interviewed and did not get the job. And the response was, well, he didn't interview well. And the guy was a heck of a baseball.
Yeah, I mean, the idea is to get the best man for the job. It doesn't matter how eloquent he is in the interview.
Well, the key is who was doing the interviewing. That's the whole key.
It is something to do with it, too. A lot of times you got a lot of people in the room.
It's a process. It's become a process.
No bunt this time. Most surprising.
As we talked about, if he doesn't try 2 or 3 times in a game, he's not doing himself a service. As quick as he is.
And if he hits it in the air, for him it's a problem.
Good pitch, didn't get it.
Good backdoor breaking ball on our Nissan pitch tracks. We'll show you that another one that could have gone either way actually had a part of the play.
Pokes that into center field. Diaza coming on, makes the catch. You're awesome, Alejandro.
When Campana hits it in the air, he does you a favor. If he puts it on the ground, it's going to be bang bang at first base. In the air, he's played so shallow all the way around, it's tough for him to dunk one in.
Jesus is going out deep to left, and he doubled, leading off the 3rd inning. Went to 3rd on a ground out by LaHare, and Gavin left him right there at 3rd base. Takes a strike. And the count 0-2.
Well, Jake Westbrook threw a dandy against Detroit, beat him 3-1.
Jake was tough against us in St. Louis.
Yes, he was. That sinker working real well. Detroit, winners of 7 of their last 10, 3 in a row, got derailed by the Redbirds.
Okay, that Cardinal team, once they get healthy, if they get healthy, well, I don't see anybody standing in their way. They are good. Get Carpenter back.
Well, they got Skip Schumacher, their everyday second baseman, back. They have to get John Jay, their everyday center fielder, back. Lance Berkman will come back, but it'll be down the road a bit. That lineup is awfully tough.
Oh, that's a good ball club.
Yep. They're a good ball club. Cincinnati, however, did get Scott Rowland back from a shoulder problem.
I don't see Cincinnati hanging with those guys if the Cardinals are healthy. He gone. We're halfway home leading 3-0. All right, Kip Lewis, thank you, buddy. As there's our Comcast Sportsnet tail of the tape. 3-5-0, 0-3-0. Here's Paulie. Takes first pitch. Change him for a strike.
Asensio does have a good overhand hook. Just a question of will he get it over the plate or not.
That fastball hit into right center. So 2 pitches, 1 out. Paulie now 1 for 3 with an RBI, his 39th. Cleveland has beaten Cincinnati 8-1. Masterson. Left side. Now Bueno. 2 down. Alex now 0 for 3. Here's AJ. He's walked and grounded out to second.
Cleveland called up their promising young third baseman Lonnie Chisenhall. We didn't see him in any of the 12 games, but he went 2 for 3 with 3 driven in tonight.
Yeah, he's been wearing it out.
Yeah.
He's got a chance to be a real player.
There's no doubt. Him and Kipnis both. Well, Kipnis is already a very strong player.
Right. Yeah, Chisenhall, he's going to have to work on his skills at third a little bit. But he can swing that bat. One and 2 the count to AJ.
Steven Strasburg ran his record to 9-1, beating Tampa Bay. Washington 39-27. Unbelievable.
Davey Johnson's a good manager.
Good manager. They got
a good manager and they got a good general manager, and they've got a lot of good young players.
They made the most of some very high draft picks. Harper and Strasburg doing a tremendous job.
Yeah, the boy AJ goes down and picks up the 2-out single. So Alyssa, I should say, Alyssa and Peter Jr. Catazone, they're picked to click. 1 for 2.
Here's that overhand curveball. AJ does like the ball down. Gets one about knee high and serves it into right center field.
Here's Tank. Tank is 0 for 2. He's grounded to second and fouled out to first. Takes first pitch strike. Outfield straight up, spread out. There's a Metabaticola. And that'll retire the side. We have finished 5 and we lead it 3-0.
just has been awful. He knows that. First force before that, however, he threw the ball very well. And whatever it is that he had to find, he's found tonight. Because he's been throwing brilliantly. You look at those numbers, 3 hits in 5 innings. He's only walked 1. He's only fanned 2, which for him is a very low number. But he's getting the outs he has to get, which at the end of the day is all you can do.
Castro, LaHare, Soriano. Starlin lined out to right and grounded to short. Big strike 1. Curveball, strike 2. You just turn again, Sox 2 1/3, 1 1/4. RBIs by Beckham, Dunn, and Konerko.
And Randy Wells, who started this game, helped self-destruct in the 3rd inning with back-to-back leadoff walks to Escobar and Diaz. They both came around to score after a stolen base.
Nobody's going to get that one. Castro now is going to turn it on and walk into 3rd. Picks up his 7th triple.
Gavin hasn't made many mistakes, but this cutter is one of them. Cutter that doesn't move is like a hanging fastball. It just is straight, stayed on the outer 3rd, and Castro crushed it.
Off the fist is LaHare. Yeah, a cutter that like a hanging mediocre fastball.
At 85.
Yeah.
LaHare knows that in the not too distant future he's going to be in the outfield against right-handers, most likely on the bench against left-handers, and Anthony Rizzo is going to be at first base.
There's a breaking ball strike. And the 1-2 pitch.
Gavin can throw that curveball low and in. He'll strike out LaHare. Now ready to deliver pitch number 98.
He gone. Changeup.
Big strikeout for Gavin. Has LaHare well out in front of it.
Soriano had an infield single, and he is grounded to 3rd. Takes first pitch strike. That's out of play right side.
Soriano's walked 16 times in 239 at bats. You don't have to throw him a strike to get him out. That was a good stop by AJ. This saves a run. Gavin's thrown 4 wild pitches. This was almost number 5.
He gone. Big strikeout. 2 down.
Caught the inside part of the plate. First of all, it buckled the knees of Soriano. So his arguing with Bill Miller, I'm not sure he saw the pitch. But our Nissan pitch tracks will show you. Watch where it appears. Just on the inside part of the plate. It has part of the plate. And he gets rung up. And another big strikeout.
So here's Steve Clevenger. He is struck out and grounded to second. Gavin now with 4 punch-outs. Takes ball 1.
Don Cooper calling the pen as Gavin is at the 104 pitch mark.
So he's going to pitch over the leadoff triple by Starlin Castro. And it is still a 3-0 Sox lead. Nice job. Yeah. I'm Midas. So don't miss this weekly Cubs and Sox quiz show hosted by Luke Stuckmeyer. Episode 1 premieres July 1st right here on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Scott Maine comes into the game. 0-1 this year, ERA 6.35. Recently recalled from AAA. 10 strikeouts in 5 2/3 innings. If you take a look at those numbers, you wonder how that ERA is that high.
Good job by Gavin Floyd. Leadoff triple by Castro, his 7th, and he leaves him right there at third.
Just a tremendous job of pitching, going right through the heart of the order. LaHare, Soriano, and Clevenger. The ball never left the infield. 2 strikeouts and a harmless ground out.
Alexei Escobar back to the top of the order with De Aza. Chopper 2 Hopper, Marwin Barney, and out number 1. Alexei now 1 for 3.
Now it's time for our Illinois Lottery Anything's Possible replay, and it is Gavin Floyd getting out of that inning after the leadoff triple. First it's LaHare, and it's Soriano looking, and then it's Clevenger with a little soft grounder to Gordon Beckham. And Gavin Floyd, who's been brilliant tonight, a shutout, giving up 4 hits through 6.
Two and 0 the count to Escobar. He's done his job tonight. He saved at least 1 run. Beautiful play. Then he walked to start off that 2-run third, stole a base, and came around to score. 2-1 to count. Good pitch by Maine. 2-2. Look at this. How sweet it is. So good speed aboard.
Sometimes you make a pretty good pitch, and he leaves Escobar with just the handle of the bat, but the ball floats out into right field.
Now here's De Aza. He's 1 for 2 with a run scored. Little drop down breaking ball misses. That runs the count to 2-0. Beckham on deck. And count 3-0. Don't help him out. And there's ball 4. Fifth walk issued by Cub pitching, and that'll bring up Beckham, who grounded to third, had a beautiful sacrifice bunt and an RBI single in the 4th. Way outside with a breaking ball. Off day tomorrow, then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Make your plans to be with us here at beautiful U.S. Cellular Field as our Sox will host the Brew Crew.
Manny Corpus loosening up in the bullpen. The Brewers having a tough year to this point.
That ball hit in the right field. Stretch! Stretch! He looks up. You can put it on the board! Yes! 3-run homer for Gordon Beckham. And the Sox leading 6-0. Mercy!
Gordon's driven in 4 tonight. He's got 31 this year. That's his 9th home run. Now, we knew this ball was going to stay fair because the wind was going to keep it fair. The only question, would it be far enough? Right by the Bertucci boys.
Gordon has had some big home runs against the Cubs. Adam checks it up, takes ball 1.
Chris Bosio wanting to get that bullpen up and going once again and find out if Manny Corpus is ready. However, things might change with a 6-run lead. Not quite as close. And Manny Corpus is one of the guys they use as their guy when a game is close or they're ahead.
Yeah, he's a bridge to get to the setup guy or the closer. Three and one. Paulie on deck. Of course, with that home run by Beckham, the Alex Nellius family will donate $100 to White Sox charities for every Sox homer hit throughout the course of the season. That is number 85, so $8,500 donated by Alex Nellius in loving memory of Ursula. Full count.
Now it's Casey Coleman along with Corpus.
And we're talking about Gordon having some big home runs against the Cubs. Check this out.
Soriano runs out of room. And Gordon gets one off Samardzija and one off Paul Mahala in the sweep at Wrigley Field.
Before this thing's over, that young man right there is going to be a big game player.
There's no doubt about it, and I know a lot of our fans would have liked to have seen him become a star already, but some guys mature baseball-wise at a different pace. Baseball acumen, he had it off the charts from the beginning. Now he's starting to feel more comfortable. He's always had it defensively.
Well, there's only one thing more he's got to learn about, and that's the mirror.
Yep.
That mirror will tell him everything he's got to know.
Well, there for a while he started to lose his confidence.
Yep,
and it might have been one of the few times in his life that he did that.
He lost his childlike qualities, which are so important in any sport. Started becoming too mechanical minded, thought minded, robot minded. Now he's getting back to who he was when we first got him. And that's who we want.
That guy's plenty good enough.
3-1 to count. Paulie 1 for 3 with that RBI, his 39th. Pops him up. Barney but not before the opposite field. 3-run homer off the bat of Gordon Beckham will go to the 7th, leading 6-0. Game Live will have the latest on the future of the BCS playoff situation. Plus, we hear from both the Heat and Thunder on their off day from the NBA Finals. Join Pat Boyle and Mark Shanowski. Pat Boyle and Mark Shanowski for GMC Sportsnet Central tonight after postgame live only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. Darwin Barney, Luis Valbuena, and Reed Johnson, the schedule hitters here in the top of the 7th. 6-8-0 for our guys. 0-4-0 for their guys. Watch out, hang loose. Curveball into left field. Tank. One down. And here comes Rock. I like it.
What a job.
And this is well deserved and long awaited by Gavin Floyd.
Gets a standing ovation. He's 2-5, ERA 3.38, on for the 35th time. He inherits a big lead. Gavin went 6 1/3, 4 hits, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk.
First pitch strike to Valbuena. Valbuena has grounded to first and gone out to center. Gap out there in right center. Took the mask right off of AJ.
This will get your attention.
He gone. 2 down. More than that. Well, I've seen more than that. But catchers who are big guys obviously are going to get more punishment. But the 2 guys that are probably the most immune to those hits on a consistent basis and not even hardly show it are AJ and Carlton Fisk. 2 big guys.
Both very big guys.
Just mindset. They just got the mindset, you know, when they take the hit, and okay, they'll take the hit. And while we have a moment, big White Sox shout out to Dorothy Scott. Birthday today, 85 years young. Lifelong Sox fan. Can't even talk to her when the game's on, they said. First thing she asked is, what channel are the boys on? Happy birthday to Dorothy Scott, honey. See you at the ballpark. Here's the 1-1. Reed is 1 for 2. What you mentioned earlier in the game is so true. Reed Johnson is, boy, for a contending ball club, is just a perfect fit for a lot of clubs.
I think he'll show a lot of interest. I really believe the only question is what they're going to ask in return for him. He's not an everyday player, but he's a guy on a contending team that can fill a lot of holes for you. And he does hit some of the tough pitches.
And make some of the tough catches in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning.
That you take for granted from him because he's made some spectacular catches the last few years.
Well, there are certainly a lot of clubs interested, but as you mentioned, he's not going to get. They're not going to get a 1 or a 2 pick for him.
No.
But they can get a nice. They should be able to get a nice prospect. The 2-2. He gone. And Thornton comes in. A couple of strikeouts. 7th inning stretch. We lead it 6-0. menu from Gibson's Restaurant Group and opens at 11 a.m. before all home games. It's a great place to hang out and watch the action on over 70 HD TVs. The party at the park.
Casey Coleman comes in at 0-1, ERA 4.80. And he's down by 6.
Ball 1 to Alex. Alex 0 for 3 tonight. Make it 1 for 4. Good boy, Alex. That'll bring up AJ. A walk, a ground out to second, and a solid single to right. Out of play left side. If you're just tuning in, St. Louis beat the Tigers 3-1 at Comerica Park. Westbrook, Jake, did his thing out there. He's still got that good sinker going. Indians, a 2-run homer. Johnny Damon put them up 2-0, and then as Drupal Cabrera hit a 3-run homer, they win it 8-1 over Cincinnati. Checks it up, and the count 2-1. There he goes. Watch out. Quick flip. They don't get him at second, but they get him at first.
Goes 4-6-3, but not a double play. Then Iasonia called the play at second right away.
So here's Tank. Tank is 0 for 3 tonight. He's due. Fires that one into the mezzanine. Two and one. Pick him up. Tank. That's into right field. Reed Johnson is there. Alex tags. Here's a throw. Save.
Well, good throw by Reed Johnson. Even in the 6-0 game, taking nothing for granted, Alex really had to hustle because he just barely beat that play.
Beautiful peg by Johnson. I love to watch guys who can throw.
I like to watch guys who give you everything they got regardless of what the score is.
He's one of those. Want to know the count to Alexei. Alexei 1 for 3 with a run scored.
Jesse Crain loosening up in the bullpen and getting a running start on that pitching mound.
Look at this, how sweet it is. That tag up by Rios pays off, and it's 7-0.
RBI number 31 and the second hit of the night for Alexei. He's starting to heat it up somewhat. High fastball, inside out swing, and dumps it in front of Johnson.
So here's Escobar. He's been a big part of this game tonight. He scored twice, walked to lead off that 2-run third, singled and scored last inning, and made a beautiful play off Darwin Barney, who led off the second. It would have been a double, and later on he would have scored. So at least one he saved defensively.
I got to believe he's going to see a little more playing time.
He will grind it out. Count evens at 2. 2 out, 2 balls, 2 strikes here in the bottom of the 7th. 7-10-0 for our guys. 0-4-0 for their guys. Way back at first, not holding on Alexei. Watch out.
The bat got Coleman.
Got him. Wow.
That's about as hard as I've seen a pitcher get hit with a bat in a long time.
Me too. Hopefully he will be all right. Meanwhile, we pick up 1. And we'll go to the 8th, leading by 7. All right, Kip Lewis, thank you very much. 0-1 to count to Tony Campana leading off here in the top of the 8th inning. Campana is 0 for 2. Watch out. 0-2 the count for the speedster. And another souvenir. In that Cleveland victory, Justin Masterson went 9 innings, gave up 3 hits, 1 run. It was unearned. 8-1 Indians over Cincinnati. Arroyo started for the Reds. 23,544 at Progressive Field. Did not go. 3-2. No walks. And another souvenir. Just tuning in, Gavin Floyd went 6 1/3. Giving up just 4 hits, 1 walk, had 4 strikeouts through 108 pitches. Oh, Gordon got that nice little puff on Woods, hop, and gets in with that strong arm of Beckham.
We're going to show you where Casey Coleman got hit. It was right there. He gets hit on the wrist. You can see it in that spot. They took a look at him. They took him down into the locker room. And they're going to further check it out. He got hit awfully hard with that one.
Right on the side of the wrists. There he is. Evidently he's okay, so that's good news. As 0-1 to count to DeJesus, who was 1 for 3. He tripled to lead off the 3rd inning, and Gavin left him right there at third base. It's foul back.
Very rarely will you see a pitcher get hit this hard. He's fortunate he didn't get hit with the pointed part of the bat. And he's back on the bench.
Steve Yeager.
Well, that was awful.
He gone. Breaking ball, 2 down. Oh, Robin out. He wants the right-hander. Yeager, of course, for you who don't know, was a catcher for the Dodgers. A couple other teams. He got hit with the point of the bat and it stuck almost in his neck. So anyway, Matt comes on, does his thing, picks up 3 strikeouts, an inning and a third. He departs, and we'll be back.
So Floyd, Thornton, and now Crane working out a shutout. Jesse on for the 22nd time, a 1-0 record, a 2.18 ERA, 25 strikeouts in 20 2/3 innings.
See, everybody can get along.
They can. You got enough soda?
Look at those faces.
And one of the guys is asleep with his eyes open.
He doesn't like to score.
No.
Those faces.
He's a little bitter. I'll give him that. For a young person, he's very bitter.
So here's Castro. Castro, 1 for 3. That triple, as we mentioned, is his 7th triple of the year. And the count evens at 1.
Dylan Axelrod loosening up in the bullpen.
Outside. Boston hurt Miami 15-5 at Fenway.
Ricky Nolasco started that game and gave up 9 earnings. That'll put a dent in your ERA in 3 1/3.
Nats beat Baltimore 4-3 at City Park. Nasty Nats at home against Tampa Bay. Nats win it 3-2. Strasburg, as Steve mentioned, 9-1. Phillies with 2 in the 9th beat the Rockies 7-6. Chopper 2 hopper. Hey, that guy can run. Wow. Close play. Meanwhile, 1-2-3 inning for us. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th, leading 7-0. Sleep on the field. We'll be playing the Yankees that night. Watch the game from the scoreboard and participate in fun activities. Tickets are on sale now, so purchase. Or for more information, call whitesox.com/campout. That should be a nice time.
Be a very nice time with the Yankees in town. Manny Corpus comes on. 1.04 ERA on for the 8th time.
So here we go. Diaz, Beckham, and Dine to face Corpus. Watch out.
And he hit him, and I think Alejandro was wondering just exactly why that pitch was behind him.
Well, if he did it on purpose, it was a definite cheap shot. It's that simple.
Well, LaHair, Soriano, and Clevenger come up in the top of the ninth.
Yes, sir. That appeared to be right where he threw it, where he aimed it, where he meant it to be.
Bill Miller and Dale Swain talking it over.
So here's Beckham. He's 2 for 3, an RBI single, and a 3-run homer. Talking about Gordon and some big home runs, also some big hits against the Cubs. As the count moves to 1-1, that big 3-run homer opposite field back in the 6th inning. It is a 6-0 ball game.
And 4 driven in tonight.
And of course, there's a little pop up. Barney makes the catch, and that's out number 1. But back on June 27th of 2009, 9th inning, here's Beckham again.
Here's our Xfinity high-speed action replay. The first game-winning hit in what will probably be a long and illustrious career for Gordon Beckham.
Look at AJ now. Watch AJ cheap shot him right here. Look. All those kidney shots whooped with love, though. As here is Adam. Breaking ball strike. Knock him right off the mound, Adam, for that cheap shot. And drop down, throw that sinker out over the plate, and just tear him right off the mound. Shot. 2 down. And that'll bring up Paulie.
LaHair was so far back at first, as you would expect for Adam, that he couldn't get to the bag in time for the double play.
Time is called. And a count 2-0.
Will Oman loosening up in the pen.
Cannot check it up. 2-0 breaking ball. Looked like he took a little something off of it. 3-1 with Rios on deck. 7-10-0 for our guys. 4-0 for their guys. It's full. Two out and a payoff pitch. That'll retire the side. We'll go to the ninth. It's 7-0 good guys.
Light, and it's our Miller moment, and the Miller moment is just about every moment Gavin Floyd was in the game. He was absolutely brilliant through 6 1/3, gave up no runs on 4 hits. He walked 1, he fanned 4. Gavin Floyd put it all together tonight, and it couldn't come at a better time. Gets a standing ovation, well deserved.
Really, the only breaking ball that he made a big mistake with was that triple to Castro.
That was it.
So here we go, LaHare.
And Will Oman comes into the game with 0-2, ERA up close to 6.
Takes ball 1. And the count evens. High pop up. And 1 out. And you can follow our White Sox with the MLB.com @BAT12 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text @BAT to 31826. So here's Soriano. 0-1 to count. That's into left field. Got it off the fist. So 2 down. And here's Clevenger. Clevenger looking. There they are. The Mopsy twins. $32,311. And there's the strike. In the left field, when this ball comes down, this ball game and this series will be over. So the Sox shut them out on 4 hits. And Gavin Floyd was just awesome.
Great night for Gavin Floyd to step up and pick up this ball club. He played the role of the stopper tonight. Then the bullpen made it hold up. Thornton, Crane, and Oman, and all's well that ends well.
And let's check out our GMC players of the game. They are Gavin Floyd and Gordon Beckham. Gavin picking up the win. Gordon going 2 for 3. RBI single and a big 3-run homer to break it open, our GMC players of the game. So from my partner, Steve Stone, our director, Jim Angio, our producer, Mike Leary, our associate producer, Dave Ross, our technical manager, Mark Harper, the executive producer, Jim Corno Jr., also for the mayor, Mean Joe Gruden up there in the booth, Mike Mayer, Frank D'Amato, Paul Carey, and Doug Bullard down in the truck on sound. This is the Hawk. So long, everybody.